guys, welcome back to the channel. This is by far one of the best heated interviews I've seen with Patrick. I've known Patrick for a very long time. I actually used to work with Patrick for a very short time, long time ago, before he got to this level. And he was humble then, he is humble now. And Patrick, if you see this, hey man, kudos to you. But man, this was one of the best heated interviews I've seen. This interview with Roland Martin, who is known to be a race baiter, right? But I give the guy credit. He actually agreed to meet with Patrick and have this conversation. And conversation was about crime, conversation about democratic cities, and Roland, I should call him, sorry. Roland being Roland, he tried to go around it, or do what Ronald does best, right? Raise his voice, be mad, but I'm gonna play a small clip of this interview, okay? And if you get a chance, go look up Patrick Bet-David is under Valuetainment. And it's the PDB podcast. And definitely watch this interview because it was amazing. So let me play a little bit of this.
That was Jim Crow.
How many years does it take to change?
What are you talking about?
How many years does it take to create change?
When you have,
how long does it take to create change?
First of all, you talking about a black in America.
How long does it take to create change?
When you have had,
yeah,
okay, walk through 243 years of slavery, 92 years of Jim Crow, and then you get to 1970 when you are technically fully free, you can't act like all of that before did not impact. The issues that you're having now have to do with not Democratic or Republican policies. It has to do with literally white supremacy and Jim Crow in America. We are still, to act as if we are still not dealing with that. How did housing discrimination take place in this country? Do you know who created it? The realtors. They apologize for it.
Why are you going away from the question?
No, because
Roland,
here's the deal, though. You don't want to deal with what creates crime areas.
You got to realize this. Listen,
I'm dealing with the real truth. How they create it. What you're dealing with is, there are democratic areas. What I'm dealing with is how do you deal with the historical reality?
Look, he has a small amount of point, but he deflects against the question, right? Over 50 years, why hasn't the situation gotten better? And, he talked about slavery, he talked about Jim Crow. Your boy Biden was for Jim Crow. Democrats were for Jim Crow. This is what they voted for. This is what they wanted, right? But the reality is this. How is it, or why is it that I can't say most, but immigrants coming to this country, and when they come, they thrive? Patrick should have asked this question of Roland. I keep calling him Ronald, I don't know why. He should have asked this question of Roland, of why is it that immigrants that come to this country actually thrive? And they come to this country, most of them don't know the language. Most of them learn the language here, including me, right? I had to learn English when I came to the States. I did not speak English. But, so he's asking Roland, why is it taking 50 years? So let's listen a little bit more.
Of neighborhoods that simply can't be just, we elected one person and they're just going to change it.
Roland,
doesn't work that way.
Roland, I'm Middle Eastern, okay? I was born in Iran, 10 years. My mother's a communist, my dad's an imperialist. We escape, we go to Germany. I lived at a refugee camp for 2 years, okay? With people who are Yugoslavian, Czech, Albanian at the time, and they're all leaving for a reason. I come to the States, okay? I'm a welfare baby. I'm a food stamp baby.
Okay.
Just letting you know, my parents are divorced twice in 20 years. I'm going to Glendale High School. I have a lunch ticket I would sell because I don't have any money. I'm 6'1", 130 pounds. That should tell you the fact that we don't come from a lot of money. One day, I'm in the school, and my teacher starts talking about politics. Up until that point, when I think about politics, all I think about is divorce. Because I think about my mom and dad arguing all the time. I don't have a lot of pain linked to politics at the time. And the teacher's obviously the teacher's going to be a Democrat because she's presenting how rich people are this rich. I'm like, okay, great, rich people are bad. So I come home.
I obviously
13-1. That's the number. That's
dude.
a stat.
I had a whole lot of damn Republican teachers in my life.
Well, I like stats, and the stats are 13-1 is Democrats to Republican. You know the stats. So I come home and I say, Mom, are we Republicans or Democrats? And she said, we're Democrats. I said, tell me why. She says, because the Democrats are for the poor, Republicans are for the rich. So my mom says. You know what I told her? I said, when I grow up, I want to be a Republican. Not because I want to be a Republican. I don't know what the policies are.
So first of all, who's actually for the rich and the poor? Who?
Who is for the rich and the poor?
She said it. She said Republicans are for the rich, Democrats are for the poor. Is that you say you love? Is it true or not?
First of all,
is it true or not?
Whether that's true, statistically, more rich people are on the Democratic side today than the Republican side.
But no. You say who are for, not who's rich, but who are they for, the policy.
But Roland, this is you. You're smart.
No, your mom said it.
I understand. But you're a smart guy, bro. Listen, when I watch you, you're not a dummy. You're very smart, okay? So sometimes John Maxwell says something very important that I completely held to myself. And every time I break this, I don't like it. He said, the moment you learn sales and you learn persuasion, okay? The moment you learn the ability how to persuade, me, we learn how to persuade. He says, be very careful to not go one step above that, which is to manipulate just to win all arguments, because you can.
Booyah. Manipulate. Democrats, most politicians are salesmen. They manipulate. They basically twist the truth, twist the words. You hear it. I'm not gonna play the whole podcast here, but he played a clip of Democrats calling for defunding the police, but manipulate. They twist the words by saying we're gonna reallocate the funds, not defund the police. We're gonna reallocate the funds. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, which means if there was a budget set for the police, they're gonna set that, but they're gonna reallocate that budget to something else other than the police. This is how manipulative these bastards are. This is what they do. This is why when you pay taxes, you're like, why the hell aren't my roads paved? Because the government that you are supporting with your tax dollars are reallocating those funds to other bullshit stuff, to other bullshit programs, right? So this was a great interview. This actually showed, I actually reached out to Roland today to see if he's willing to talk. I don't think he's gonna respond to me. I'm just a little guy, but it's worth a shot. Why not? I'm gonna ask him, Roland, if you see this, I'll be happy to come on. Why don't you come on the show? We'll talk. I'm a little guy. Maybe you don't see me as as high as a Patrick, but hey, I have questions I'm gonna ask you if you're willing to answer the questions. If you're up to it, we can yell too, because I like to yell, you like to yell, so we could both yell at the same time. We could talk over each other all day. But going back to the reality, look. Patrick put him on the spot. He was talking about 27 out of 30 states, Democrat run, high crime. He never answered the question. He never answered the question of why there's such high crimes in Democratic states. He continuously just brought up different things. Jim Crow. He kept bringing victimhood this, victimhood that. So Patrick, went ahead and asked him, hey, do you see yourself as a victim? He asked him that question. He never answered the question, right? So I I like to see a follow up to this interview, Patrick. If we can do a follow up, that'd be fantastic, man. Maybe next month, maybe some other time. And my son just just interrupted. Anyways, guys, share, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Peace out.